Nestled in the heart of nature, the poet's retreat stood as a haven of peace and inspiration. This quaint cottage, surrounded by the serene beauty of lush gardens, a gentle stream, and a quiet forest, offered the perfect setting for creativity and contemplation. The picturesque environment captured the essence of a tranquil sanctuary, where a poet could find respite from the world's bustle. This retreat, bathed in the beauty and tranquility of nature, was an ideal place for the poet to craft verses that reflected the natural world's harmony and grace. This sets the stage for our story, introducing the serene space where the poet spends his days in creativity and reflection. In the heart of his tranquil retreat, the poet was captured in a moment of deep focus, crafting his verses. Surrounded by elements that nurtured his creative process, such as books, papers, and a view of nature, the poet appeared deeply immersed in his work. His expression, one of concentration and passion, reflected the intensity of translating thoughts and inspirations into poetic verses. The image conveyed the essence of the creative process, showcasing the poet in his element, dedicated to the art of poetry. The environment, conducive to creativity, mirrored the poet's commitment to his craft, a testament to his passion for weaving words into expressions of beauty and emotion. This captures the essence of the poet's creative journey, illustrating his dedication and passion for his art. This scene captures the essence of what inspires the poet, a beautiful and evocative landscape, visible from the window of his retreat. The poet, gazing thoughtfully at this inspiring view, appeared deeply connected to the natural beauty that stirred his imagination and emotions. The image illustrated the intimate relationship between the poet and his muse, the natural world, reflecting the depth and source of his poetic expressions. This moment of connection with nature highlighted the poet's ability to draw inspiration from his surroundings, transforming the beauty and emotion he observed into profound poetic verses. This delves into the heart of the poet's inspiration, offering a glimpse into the sources that fuel his creativity and passion. The tranquility of the poet's retreat was gently interrupted by the arrival of a visitor, perhaps a young admirer or a fellow poet. The scene depicted the visitor approaching the cottage, their expression one of anticipation and respect. The environment of the retreat, nestled in the serene landscape, appeared welcoming. The visitor, carrying a book or writings, indicated their admiration or connection to the poet's work. This image captured the moment of arrival, with the poet possibly greeting the visitor at the door or peering out from the window. The interaction between the visitor and the poet introduced a new dynamic to the story, bringing in a character who seeks wisdom or inspiration from the renowned poet. This adds a layer of interaction and external influence to the story, introducing a new character who seeks the poet's wisdom or inspiration. Within the comforting walls of the poet's retreat, a deep and thoughtful conversation unfolded between the poet and the visitor. Seated in a cozy corner surrounded by the poet's creative world of books, manuscripts, and an inspiring view, the two engaged in an intellectual exchange. The poet, embodying wisdom and experience, shared his insights and perspectives on life and poetry, while the visitor listened intently, absorbing the knowledge imparted. The atmosphere was rich with creative and intellectual energy, as the poet discussed the art of poetry and imparted his knowledge. The image beautifully captured the connection between the two characters, highlighting the transfer of knowledge and the profound impact of the poet's words on the visitor. This illustrates a significant interaction in the story, where the poet imparts wisdom and inspires the visitor, fostering a meaningful exchange of ideas. In a somber corner of his retreat, the poet was captured in a moment of deep contemplation and distress. The scene showed him grappling with a challenge or dilemma, perhaps related to his creative process or a personal issue. His expression was one of concern and deep thought, reflecting the inner turmoil he was experiencing. The environment mirrored this internal struggle, with a less orderly setting and a shift in lighting to convey the mood change. This image symbolized a critical moment in the poet's creative journey or personal life, highlighting the weight of the decisions and challenges he faced. The setting, though still within the poet's retreat, took on a more somber tone, effectively capturing the poet's struggle and the introspective nature of this pivotal moment in his story. This illustrates a significant turning point in the story, delving into the poet's internal challenges and the impact on his creative and personal life. In a moment of quiet introspection, the poet reflected on his life and work. The scene depicted him in a thoughtful pose, perhaps looking out a window or at an object of personal significance. The calm and reflective environment was conducive to introspection. The poet's expression, one of deep contemplation, showed him pondering the journey of his life, the meaning of his work, and the impact of his poetry. This image conveyed a sense of depth and introspection, highlighting the poet's connection with his inner self and the contemplative nature of his craft. It illustrated the poet's introspective journey, exploring the depths of his experiences and the essence of his poetic expressions. This delves into the poet's reflective state, illustrating his introspection on life, work, and the impact of his poetry. In a moment brimming with intense focus and creativity, the poet was captured composing the final lines of his masterpiece. Seated at his desk, pen in hand, he was fully immersed in the act of writing. The environment around him reflected the culmination of his creative journey, with notes and drafts scattered, each a fragment of his poetic exploration. This image captured the essence of the poet reaching the pinnacle of his art, conveying the emotion and significance of crafting his last, most meaningful verse. His expression was one of fulfillment and profound accomplishment, marking the completion of a journey that spanned his lifetime. It was a moment that epitomized the depth of his passion and the pinnacle of his poetic legacy. This depicts the climactic moment of the poet's career, the creation of his last and most significant verse, a testament to his life's work and artistic journey. In the aftermath of writing his final verse, the poet's impact and legacy were beautifully symbolized. The scene depicted the poet's writings being shared and celebrated among admirers, influencing other poets and artists. The environment radiated respect and admiration, with the poet's work receiving the celebration and appreciation it deserved. The poet himself, perhaps depicted in a contemplative manner, seemed at peace with his achievements, observing the influence of his words from afar. This image captured the essence of a lasting legacy, where the poet's work continued to inspire and resonate with others long after the words were penned. Elements of the poet's retreat or a public space where his influence was evident added depth to the setting, illustrating the far-reaching impact of his poetic contributions. This reflects the enduring legacy of the poet, highlighting the lasting influence and inspiration his work imparts to others. The memory of the poet was honored and remembered in a scene filled with reverence. This image might depict a tribute to the poet, such as a memorial, a gathering in his honor, or his works being read or displayed. The environment exuded a sense of reverence and memory, with elements that reflected the poet's life and work. The poet was symbolically represented, perhaps through his writings, a portrait, or a personal item of significance. This scene captured how the poet's memory was cherished and kept alive, reflecting the profound impact he had on others and the lasting influence of his poetry. The setting could include the poet's retreat, a public space, or an intimate setting where his legacy was honored and remembered. This concludes our story, illustrating how the poet's legacy continues to inspire and touch the lives of others, even after his final verse was written. With this, we have completed the visual and narrative journey of the poet's last verse, a story that explored the depths of creativity, introspection, and the enduring impact of poetic expression.